Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to So Much Price, So Little Value, Acharya Prashant with SPA Delhi. But first and foremost, I want to thank the person that gave me a super chat. I'm going to butcher the name, Panka. I'm sorry, but hopefully that made you laugh for my bad pronunciations of foreign names. But anyways, just thank you. And so anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the video here. I chose this one because it's a very interesting topic, I will say. So much price, so little value. And it's kind of interesting how we as people put a lot of value in a lot of things. And it's very interesting to see the rich people have extremely high values on very similar things that we in a sense value, but it's made out of the same material and everything. So like, the name brand stuff, it's all just brand, so much price for so little value. So that's a direct materialistic value, as in this shirt right here, made out of the same material as the shirt that, I don't know, whatever they're wearing is, that costs like 100,000 times more than the shirt. Same material, does the same job, but just the brand is different. I don't know what this one is because it doesn't have any branding on it. Actually, I don't know what the branding is on. I have to get them look in the back of the shirt because there's literally just a gray shirt, no branding whatsoever. Like said Guru, talk about. Why are you wearing the brand? I have no brand. I can't afford brand. But yes. But I'm sure it's a lot more than that. What he's talking about here, how we tend to value external things and realize that these external things don't have a lot of internal value, internal happiness or contentment. I say it that way, but I don't know if I meant it that way. But in the sense that these things that we find valuable don't make us happy on the long run. And I think that's what he's trying to talk about here. I'm not sure, I'm predicting here. But I think that's what it is. And I get it if that is, but anyways, let's go ahead and get the video started. Talk to
Namaskar, Acharya ji. My question is on materialism. Sir, we see an ever increasing market for luxury goods, like including like automobiles or fashion or like jewelry. And according to one study, on fashion. Fashion goods, luxury fashion goods, like around 92% of the price we pay for those goods are used for their branding, for their advertisement, their rentals, and all these things. And only around 8% of the money we pay for them is used for the quality they are producing. So despite the fact we are enticed by these luxury, so why is it so? Why is our mind so enticed by the luxury?
Okay, so I think I have an answer for that. I'm kind of curious to see how close my answer is to that, and whether you agree with my answer or not. Obviously, these luxury items would not mean anything to us in terms of the materialistic world if people we look up to, people we see are very fancy, don't use them. So, for example, if you like an action star, and you see them, how do you say, like wearing a brand, and they advertise their brand. It's like, oh, that's really cool. I like that person. I'll buy that brand because that person wears that brand. Or the fact that and like you see high status people wearing it, so we kind of want to be high status. We may not be high status ourselves in terms of like money and stuff, but we want to imitate high status. So even though we don't make as much money, we wear the stuff so that we can present ourselves as high status to other people. At least in terms of materialistic, that's it so far. That's what he's trying to point out here. But let's see what Acharya here has to say.
No, because you want something and you happen to have money. So you think that
So right.
the thing that's priced the highest will probably bring the highest to you. in absence of any other proper metric, you start taking
Oh.
price as a proxy for value.
Very true.
Sometimes price is indeed a proxy for value, but many a times it is not. But if you do not know what really is valuable, then you are left with no choice. Then you start thinking that price indicates value. Either have an independent sense of your own to assess value. Do you have that? You don't have that, right? If I ask you to assess the value of something, anything, you'll find yourself at a loss. You'll say, I don't know. Ultimately, you will have to resort to the price. You'll say, what is the price of these things? And once you know the price of those things, you'll say the one priced the highest is indeed the highest. That's what is happening. The problem is of valuation. We do not know the value of stuff in life because we do not know life itself. So we start thinking that the priciest one, the one that costs us the most, is indeed the best one.
Gives us the most
I'm
happiness.
forgetting, there is a term in management. Is it giffen goods? Can somebody please search? There's a particular class of goods that don't sell if their prices are reduced.
Huh.
Is it giffen goods?
And it's very interesting. It's a different take that I've heard before, but it didn't come up to my mind. That's very interesting. And wow, I've not heard of the fact that if it's priced below a certain amount, that it would be considered less value and it wouldn't sell. That's interesting, but I completely understand because again, these people with high status, it's like, oh, that's for the poor folks. You know, it's like that's not for me. I need access to things that not everyone can have access to. That I have exclusive merchants that no one else can wear.
GIFFEN.
Giffen. See if I can.
Same thing. They don't sell if their prices are reduced. So that's what. Now think of the absurdity, the sheer foolishness. The thing won't sell if its price is reduced.
So here, a Giffen good is a low-income, non-luxury product for which demand increase as the price increase, and vice versa. A Giffen good has an upward slope demand curve, which is contrary to the fundamental laws of demand, which are based on downward sloping demand curve. As the, I guess, they don't have an image of it, but I'm assuming as the price drops, demand goes up. But a Giffen good has an upward sloping demand curve, which is contrary to the fundamental laws, which are based on downward sloping demand curve. I think that's what that means. It's the fact because it becomes more accessible, I believe. Should decline. But anyways, yeah, that makes sense, you know.
It is bought only because it is very pricey. Giffen goods.
Huh. Never heard that term before. Giffen goods. That's an interesting one.
So you have to be alert. Sorry.
I'll say another thing is most celebrities don't. I won't say most. There's certain celebrities who get products for free from companies. Why? Because they can wear it and advertise it while they're in public, and paparazzi goes out and take pictures with the celebrities, like, oh look, they're wearing a new handbag from so and so, and then people is like, oh, I'm a fan of that person, they're wearing that handbag, let me go buy that $10,000 handbag, which my $5 handbag can carry the same amount, and it's cheaper.
Sometimes price can indicate quality or value. Many a times it does not.
Yeah.
Many a times what happens in fact is that great things come for no price at all. But the ego loves pricey stuff. So for the ego to accept stuff that is not pricey is a great price to pay. Please understand. I am in love with money, which basically means I am in love with pricey goods. Otherwise, why would I love money? But it is demonstrated to me that the thing with really the highest value comes for a very low price. Now that's a very pricey deal for me to accept. Because if I accept that the greatest thing is coming for a low price, then what will I do with all the money that I have accumulated and all the life that I have wasted in accumulating that money? Somehow I have to justify myself, right? I spent 50 years of my life stashing my bank account. What do I do with that money? At age 50, somebody is coming and telling me, there is great stuff available for no price or small price. I feel like a fool. Have I been an idiot to waste my life on accumulation of money? So I say, no. If something is available for a low price, it has to be of a low value, low quality, low use. Are you getting it? See, I am not denouncing money. I'm just saying, can you, as an aspiring professional, learn to place your money where the value is? These are two very different things. Placing money where the price is versus placing money where the value is. Do you have the assessing mechanism within to extract value as something different from price? Price is something that the world throws at you. This is the price. You never determine the price of something. The price of something is something the shopkeeper tells you, right? So the world throws price at you. Value is something that you have to determine.
Okay. I was going to disagree with him, but no, he made the point there. I was going to say the shop doesn't really give you the price. You're the kind of one that determines the price, because if no one buys it, then either they're going to have to reduce the price or they're going to have to just go bankrupt. And then the price will be reduced anyway. But no, the price is something that they give to you, but how people determine its value is different. So whether the price and what it provides is the value, whether the price itself is justifiable for what it provides, that will grant value. So, I guess a good example would be like some soap. You have $1 soap over there, and you have the exact same soap for $10,000. He's like, yeah, they're the exact same thing. I'm not going to buy the $10,000 soap. I will buy the $1 soap. We determine that as the more value. But of course, the rich, fancy people are going to buy the $10,000 soap, even though it does the same thing, because it's exclusive and no one else can buy it, even though it's essentially the same. But it's kind of like that, where like, okay, that soap, it was 50 cents. It's half the price yesterday. $1's not really worth the value, what it provides. I'll wait. And then eventually, the store might go and sell it for half the price, or maybe, maybe they'll start selling a discount version, or another brand will come up with half the price, and maybe the brand's a little bit off, but it still does the same thing, so you buy it at the other brand at half the price. And this is where we as the consumers have the power of buying, of the buying power. It's very interesting. A very spiritual person talking about like materialistic things in terms of so much price and little value.
And if you have no internal mechanism to assess value, all you will have is the price that the world is suggesting you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will say, oh, where price is, there the value is. A small catch. To know the value of something, you must know to whom is the value.
Mm-hmm.
This discussion is very important to us. It is not at all important to, let's say, a mosquito that's roaming around my ear.
I don't know if that's Oh, I was thinking of the soaps. Like if that soap has some anti-mosquito smell, then the mosquito's definitely gonna mind why you bought that.
Or is it important? The mosquito is intent on delivering its own lecture to me. So the value of this discussion is to you because you have the intent and the ability to attend, pay attention. The mosquito has neither the ability nor the intention to pay attention. All it wants is a little bit of my blood. So there is no value in what is happening here to the mosquito. So to know what is valuable, I must know who I am. Am I the mosquito, which is the body? Or I am Homo sapiens, which is a conscious self, a conscious being. Who am I? Because we do not know that, therefore we do not know the value of stuff. If I know who I am, then I also know what I need. That which fulfills my need
Should be the
is
most
valuable to me. And the more something fulfills my need, the more is the value of that thing to me, irrespective of what the market says. To hell with the price tags that the market puts on something. This fulfills a very important need, and I know who I am. Therefore, I know my needs. Let the market say this is priced only at rupees 250. I will not part with it even for 25,000. I know who I am. Therefore, I know what my need is, what my aspiration is. In other words, what my love is. If I know my love, then I know what to value. And then I cannot fall for fancy price tags and brands and ads and promotions and all the
adverts.
Do you get this, what I'm saying? That's the whole problem with not knowing yourself but having a lot of money. You will not know who has the money. Somebody has the money. Who is he? And what relationship does the moneyed one have with me? I don't know. It's a bad situation to be in, no? To not know who you are and yet have so many crores in your accounts or in your lockers, whatever.
I'm wondering if here, I was trying to understand this. I thought I did. Is it more along the lines that if you don't know who you are and you don't know what you value, you'll buy anything. You'll just throw money at stuff to see if this thing makes you happy or not. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't know what makes you happy. And you explore by just buying stuff. It seems like this. So far this is in talks of the material realm, the material world. Nothing necessarily spiritual just yet, except for the fact of knowing oneself. So again, I guess there's spiritual knowledge and practical knowledge. The two knowledges that I want to spiritual, knowing oneself, one's true self, and how to obtain contentment. This is what I'll consider spiritual knowledge. And those are the two that I want to kind of intertwine. The material as well as, in a sense, the spiritual. It's really weird to say spiritual. I don't like that word. I don't know what to call it. But anyways, you get the idea. Because I think that's kind of how I am. You know, I'm definitely not a bhakti. I don't follow devotion to a god or anything. But I will say there is devotion to people, myself, to the things that I do, a devotion to it. See it through to, in a sense, love it, I suppose. Devotion as in to love it, to love doing it, and to devote myself to it, to accomplish it, to finish it. But anyways, I love the practicality. He's talking here. It's interesting that he didn't really ask a spiritual question, you could say.
I'm not somebody born to earn. Can you remember this? That's not the fundamental purpose of life.
Yeah,
But that's not
there it goes.
something we are criticizing or negating or advising against. No. Be very careful. We are saying earning is not the central purpose of life.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop. Repeat. I am not born to earn.
I'm not bound to earn.
I am not born to earn. So what is it I am born for?
Life.
That's something we need to figure out.
Mm.
And then we can earn the right amount from the right place and spend it on the right purpose. Once I know who I am, then I'll know the role of earning in life. Is that not commonsensical?
Very interesting here. It's interesting that it says we must find that purpose. I figured he'd give the purpose of enlightenment. He does speak a lot about that, about discovering oneself, and which he did here in the statement. Says, "Once I know who I am." So I'm wondering if he's going to go in terms of the spiritual. He did a little bit in terms of like you have to discover who you are, but that can be, I can see that in two different ways. Again, as the spiritual and the material. Who am I? Who am I as in who am I meant to be? Am I meant to be a CEO? Am I meant to be a I don't know, whatever other job there is? Or who am I as in who the true self? Who is my true self?
If I don't know who I am and I'm out in the world's marketplaces to earn, who am I earning it for? And where would I spend all that? Simple, basic, childlike questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, great, you have earned so much, wonderful. You too come from an important institution, you too will earn pretty well. What would you do with that money? Your physical needs are limited, your physicality is limited. You cannot spend beyond a point on the body. Today you spend 5,000, 10,000 a month on your body as a student probably. Tomorrow you can at max spend 50k or something on the body. What? Otherwise the body itself will start rebelling. What are you doing? I cannot change clothes every 2 hours.
Jeez.
I have natural hair. Why are you putting a wig on it? And also it's an expensive one from Dubai. And the body will say, I don't need that wig. Eyesight is good. Why are you putting specs over it? The specs are expensive. The body will say, I don't need those specs.
But sunglasses though.
40 chairs you have bought. You cannot sit on all 40. 20 cars you have bought. They'll rot. You'll forget their names, their registration numbers. And the traffic police will stop you one day. And often they ask you, okay, what is the registration number? And you know what happens when they stop you and you cannot tell the registration number? They think that you have stolen the car. So self-knowledge. Who am I? What am I here for? Why do I exist at all? If you're interested in Western thought, study existentialism. If you want to go the Oriental way, obviously Vedanta. And Vedanta is the mother of all existentialism. Because there the very question is existential. Who am I? Listen, son, this thing is a branded one. Right? But I think it has value for me. So it's okay. Not that we are swearing to reject all brands. This too is something branded. The screen in front of me is probably, which some brand is this? Yes, HP. Not that I have some vendetta to pursue against brands. But there must be value. I'm not saying something very deep. I'm not saying something abstract, mystical. I'm saying something very commonsensical. But to really execute what I'm saying, you will need self-knowledge of the Vedantic kind. It's very easy to say, what is the value of the thing? To know the value of that thing, you must know that thing. To know that thing, you must know yourself. And you must devote a lot of time to this question. Where does my sense of self come from? What is life? What is important in it? What is my relationship with life? These are very important questions to pursue, especially in your age. You'll be making major career and life decisions in the coming years. And this question is indispensable. Without this question, how do people manage to make decisions and pursue life and vocation? I just don't know. Any follow-ups?
No, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
So again, I like that he talks practicality here. Obviously, I saw him doing that in the very beginning. I thought he was kind of making a joke there. I don't know if he was or wasn't. It looked like it was, because obviously, fancy shirts here. But practicality. Obviously, we live in a materialistic world in terms of the material realm or the object reality, and there are duties and obligations in the world. If you follow your dharma as a whatever you happen to be, as a worker, sister, brother, wife, husband, whatever it may be. So, and what I like the practicality, this is something that I also want to teach as well. Preach, in some sense. Preach. Teach would be a lot better. The fact that, yes, obviously, the branded clothing is not exactly very important. But in terms of the world and object reality, in terms of other people, it does matter to a degree. So you just have to be wise not to go and look at a clothing store and say, like, I want to buy 50 million of those things. You just like, okay, I need one or two to continue doing my job. You don't go out. Some people have like 50 different suits. Sorry, I think of like someone opening up their closet and you see like 50 different jackets, but they're all somewhat the same shades of gray or whatever it happens to be, and just slightly different. And you're like, dude, you could have just bought one or two or maybe 5 at most. And no one will be able to tell the difference. It's kind of like when you watch people who go to like events, like the the actors event, like whenever they give out awards for acting and music awards and all that, how the men don't really have very much clothing. They all have the same tuxedo suit or whatever it may be. And it's like, oh, look at this person wearing a tuxedo suit. All right, good looking. Oh, look at this person. Tuxedo suit too, huh? It looks a little bit different, but it's still the same. Ah, tuxedo. Classic. For 10 years, it's like the same tuxedo, black and white. Now they're getting a little bit fancy now. They have like different colored ones. But still, tuxedo, but in pink. All right. Still like the pink there. The tie too, yeah. Oh, hey. Orange. Weird, but tuxedo. All right. It's I mean, men don't really have a lot of options in terms of like the fancy stuff, I suppose. But anyways, you make practical purchases of things that you need. Oddly enough, he goes into a little bit of Vedanta about discovering one's true self along the lines of practicality in the objective world, which is, again, the two things I want to merge. Object reality and absolute reality. For those who've been following a while, there's like 3 realities roughly: the subjective, objective, and absolute. Subjective is by personal. Objective is what everyone else experienced, everyone collectively experienced. If I were to hold up something, we'd understand this to be a pen. And an absolute reality, which in terms of Advaita Vedanta is Brahman, or the pure consciousness, pure awareness that's in all of us. That is we are mere illusions in it. We are Maya. I like to think of it a little bit differently, though. I like to think as existence is Brahman. Brahman is existence, so therefore if it exists, it is Brahman. If it does not exist, well, it doesn't exist. No point in worrying about it. And we just have I like to call Maya just a misunderstanding, not an illusion, a misunderstanding of what Brahman is. So far, I think that to me makes the better sense. It's really just weird to call it an illusion. But again, continue to listen and see if my definition or how I understand it changes based on more explanations about Brahman and Maya. What it is, Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda explain that. What is it? It's really weird. Someone wrote down a question about how the different levels of how we accept, in a sense, reality, where I thought and said that Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna said that the world is real. But the thing, so it almost makes it seem like, they'll accept anything so long as you genuinely seek the truth and enlightenment. Whatever path you take, whatever means that means, do it. Obviously without harming other people. I want to make sure that's clear. But yeah, any path that leads you to enlightenment is the right path. There is no one correct path, and that's the thing that I genuinely like about Hinduism. It's the fact that you can create your own path, or you can follow someone's path. You can follow them a certain way, then have your own path. Whatever path, so long as you're heading towards the truth and realization, that's all that really matters. How you understand things is irrelevant. Although I don't know if anyone would argue with that. I mean, obviously, I think some people argue it's like we want to realize the truth, and yeah, whatever path that takes. I'll completely agree with that. But anyways, but yes, practicality with object reality and absolute reality. I like the practicality of it. Again, kind of repeating myself a little bit here. Again, don't be afraid to buy branded products or whatever, but be practical about it. Don't start spending a whole bunch of money on stuff that you don't really need. If you need a suit because of a job, get a good suit. You may want to buy a branded suit. Why do you want to buy a branded suit? It's because, generally speaking, brands have a reputation to keep. If their suit falls apart, they will lose brand loyalty. People won't buy their brands, and then that brand will kind of go into like the discount pile. It's kind of like there's a brand that used to be like everyone wants, but now no one really wants it. It's been discounted heavily, and it's no longer like a mid brand range. It's now like a cheap brand. So, But even though I don't think there was necessarily anything wrong with it, it's just somehow it just lost popularity, I suppose. But anyways, practicality in the object world. Don't go crazy. I kind of did a little bit this past few weeks, so I'm having to work quite a bit. Anyways, that's my reaction to so much price, so little value. Acharya Prashant. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.